Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to everyone. So, in this video, we will discussing on the first topic of Land Law 2, i.e. charge. So, just an introductory to Land Law 2, dia tak banyak topics as to compare to Land Law 1. Tapi, for one particular topic, like charge, it will take several lectures. Kiranya macam the scope or subtopics of one particular topic tu banyak. So, apart from that, I would like to also share on what are the relevant materials that can help you or assist you in doing Land Law 2. Number one, of course, we need to have the statute, i.e. the Land Law Act. Sorry, the National Land Code. The National Land Code, Kanun Tanah Negara. And we also need several statutes such as Land Acquisition Act, Strata Title and Strata Management Act, and several Malay reservations land enactments of several states. So it's very much recommended for you to prepare at the beginning of the semester to ensure that you have the copies, i.e. the hard copy of those statutes. Then National Land Code, then the Acquisition Act, Strata Title and Management Act, and also Malay Reservation Enactments. And semua tu basically dalam one particular statute or compilation, i.e. the compilation of statutes, then law statute yang like the brown in color. Next, you also need to have the textbook, of course. I would suggest the Malaysian Land Law and also the procedure by Prof. Sharifah Zubaida and Prof. Ainul Jariah Aidin. So I think that's all for the introductory part. So basically on the first topic, i.e. charge. So what is charge under the National Land Code? Charge or gadaian, it is a form of securities transaction relating to land created under Part 16 of the National Land Code between the registered proprietor, charger, and also the lender, chargee. So basically, like in land dealings, macam the landowner, i.e. registered proprietor, dia perhaps in the situation he or she needs money, kan? Dia perlukan duit. So, dia borrow the money from the financial lah. Financial. And as security for the loan given by the financial, the landowner will charge his or her land to the financial. So, macam it's a form of security lah to ensure that anything happen if there is any default of the borrower in paying back the money, kan? So, the financial tu, the lender tu boleh take any action upon the security, kan? And if we were to recap on what we learn in Company Law 1, dia kalau yang last kali on the topic of loan and debenture, kalau like the creditor, dia tak ada any security on the loan given, he or she will be known or recognized as unsecured creditor. So dia punya ranking tu paling bawah sekali tu, betul tak? Kat situ lah. So bila kat sini the landowner will charge his or her land and he or she will be known as charger. Meanwhile, financial yang bagi duit tu, yang give the loan tu will known as chargee. So under land law 2, it's very important for us to familiarize ourselves with the terms tau. Contohnya charge ni, You need to know what is charger, who is chargee, and also dia involve several conveyancing punya part, which is the procedural yang you kena tahu which forms ada national land code yang relevant. Because kalau you go through the national land code, you akan nampak kat belakang-belakang tu ada beberapa form, kan? And that particular form are very important lah dalam prosedur punya part. Because dia macam as kalau you nak register charge, you nak guna form apa? Like, okay. So requirement for registration, because under land law, everything is about registration, right? Everything needs to be registered. Okay. A charge is registered in form 16A or 16B. So you can go through, or you can have a look on your national land code and find out how does and what are the particulars in form 16A. What happen if there is no registration of the charge? If not registered, the charge will be held to be an equitable charge. Equitable chargee not entitled to a statutory remedies under National Land Code. So why at the very beginning it is important for the charge to be registered, because it will grant the statutory remedies to both parties, kan? Especially for the chargee lah, if any default upon payment. Tapi kalau you tak charge, you tak registered, you will known as equitable chargee, kan? So you will not entitled to statutory remedies under National Land Code. Okay. Next, we'll be going on how to enforce the charge. So tadi kita cakap kan, for registered chargee, you will have there are two remedies, two statutory remedies for chargee to enforce the charge upon default of the charger. Let's say the charger kan dia minjam duit kan, he borrow or take a loan kan, tapi what if there is any default in repay lah from loan tu. So dia ada dua statutory remedies provided under National Land Code. Number one is order for sale, i.e. the chargee, the bank lah usually, is grant with the right to for order of sale, for sale. So kiranya tanah tu boleh dijual under public auction. Yang that part will be discussed later on dalam this particular topic juga. And after that, we also have possession. Okay. Under this topic also, we will also would like to highlight on what are the differences between a charge and also a mortgage, right? So is a charge or similar to a mortgage? So kat sini cakap both are securities transaction relating to land. So kiranya at the very first place, charge ni dia tak akan berlaku kalau tak ada loan lah. Kiranya loan tu, the existence of loan kan, pinjam duit tu adalah prerequisite untuk yang charge ni. So both are security transaction relating to land. A mortgage is a pledge of the land by the landowner to a lender that conveys to the lender the title to land in consideration for the loan. Okay, both mortgagor and mortgagee, ni untuk under mortgage, the mortgagor and mortgagee agree by contract that upon repayment of the loan, the mortgagee is to transfer the land back to the mortgagor. The right of the mortgagor to redeem the land is called equity of redemption. However, the torrents charge, i.e. our National Land Code, is not a mortgage. Maksudnya kita tak apply under torrent system. We are not using the mortgage under the English law. You can see here, a charge under the torrent system is not the same as a mortgage under the English law. The torrent charge is a charge on land. There is no passing of the legal ownership of the land from the landowner or borrower to the lender. In fact, it's just a security and not a transfer of the land, so charge. So there are the two important landmark cases lah. The authorities kan, especially kalau the judgment from the court to reaffirm the principle kan. First is case of Gankor and Sun bin Pelita. The court held that it must be remembered that a charge is a very different transaction to a mortgage. There is no such thing as a mortgage of land known to the law of the FMS. Charges alone are recognized. So nak cakap yang mortgage and charge tu are different and there is no such thing as mortgage known to the law of the FMS, Federated Malay States. Another case is Bank Bumiputra Malaysia Berhad or BBMB. Okay, in this Andoric, the court held that in the first place, the premise that a charge under the NLC is the same as the English mortgage at common law is patently erroneous. So tak boleh, memang nak emphasize yang dua-dua tu tak sama. And to distinguish between mortgage and also charge, you can see here there is a table. Kalau mortgage is created through contract, while charge is created through statute. Mortgage, legal title to land is transferred to the mortgagee. Meanwhile, kalau charge, legal title to land remains with the charger. Kalau, okay, the third one, mortgagor only has an equitable title and the equity of redemption upon full repayment of the loan. And meanwhile, for chargee has a registered interest in the land. And last one, upon default of the mortgagor, the mortgagee has a right to foreclose the land. Meanwhile, upon default of the charger, the chargee has statutory remedies of sale or taking possession of the land. Okay, yang kita cakap tadi lah. So there are two different provision under the Malaysian Land Code. Satu untuk taking possession ni, dia ada provision dia sendiri. And for sale ada another provision. So you need to have a look on that lah. Okay, now we are going to move on powers of charging. Who can create a charge? So basically, registered proprietor, lessee or sub-lessee. What can be charged? You can have a look on section 241, subsection 1 of NLC. It's either wool land, wool undivided share, lease or sublease. And the next one for this video, we are going to have a look on what are the effect of a registered charge. Kan? Charge, everything under Land Law is about registration. Kan? So under section 243 of National Land Code, number one is liable for security. Upon default of the charger, the chargee will be able to enforce the charge and the action will be against the land or lease itself. And in the case of Tengku Azman, a charge action is an action in rem against the property per se and not an action in personam. Okay. Next, the chargee gets indivisibility of title as provided in section 340 of National Land Code. This is the discussion under Land Law 1. In the case of Bank Bumiputra Malaysia Berhad, such charge may only be defeated by way of challenging it under any of the exception to indivisibility under section 340 subsection 2 of NLC, such as fraud, forgery, void or insufficient instrument. And lastly, the chargee is entitled to statutory remedies to enforce the charge under NLC. As I mentioned previously, is either possession or sale. Right? Next, position of unregistered charge. Tadi adalah position of registered charge. Kalau charge tu didaftarkan under section 243, ini adalah the effect lah. Tapi kalau what happen if that charge is not being registered? Is an unregistered charge recognized under Malaysian law? Yes. By case law, the court have accepted the concept of an equitable charge. Kat sini section 5 of NLC, a charge is defined as registered charge and it has been judicially held that no charge is effective unless registered. So, unless the trust is registered, the trust has no right to claim the statutory remedies provided under National Land Code. The only recourse for the unregistered trust is to sue for breach of the loan agreement and or trust annexure and claim contractual and equitable remedies. So basically, kalau you tak daftar charge tu, you cannot claim any statutory remedies under National Land Code, tapi you boleh sue for breach of loan agreement. Okay, the alternative to that lah. And in the case of Mahadevan, the federal court held that there is no provision in the NLC prohibiting the creation of equitable charges or liens, and therefore equitable charges and liens are permitted under Malaysian land law. Okay, so it's a landmark case to say that it is allowed kalau you tak register. Tapi macam kita cakap tadi lah, kalau you tak register, you will lost statutory remedies. Betul tak? And the case of Sign Bank Berhad, this is very important case. You can have a look in your textbook. It's about when everything has been executed, but the form tu tak dihantar ke land office. So it will remain unregistered lah kan. So in case of Simbank Berhad, the court made it clear that unregistered chargee may not obtain an order for sale of the land under the National Land Code when the charge was not registered. Sebab apa? Only registered chargee, kita bincang tadi, yang ada right to statutory remedies to enforce the charge under the NLC. So I think that's all for the first part of this topic. So we will meet again in the other video after this, inshallah. So assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.